Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we've seen the notification now.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
all right.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's lab session on relational data and SQL. We'll be doing more practical exercises and you can try it on your own as well. So I'm going to share the link to a Colab notebook. You can make a copy so that you can make edits and changes as we go on. So I'm going to share that in a second. So make a copy on your drive and you can follow along, or you can just watch what I do as well, or you can do both. Let me just get the link. If you're having trouble accessing the link, do let me know. I hope everyone can hear me. Okay. So there's a database that I have created on a Google Drive, which I'm also going to share the link for. So you can use that to make a copy of the database on your drive or save it to your system and upload it, which might be longer. But if not, just make a copy in your drive and change the path in your file on the, yeah. Oh, sorry, wrong link. Let me get the copy. So the file name is lab.bb. So you can make a copy and download it. Please let me know if you've made progress with this. If you've been able to see the lab or the notebook or the database, you can just like leave a thumbs up in the chat. And then we can start. Okay, Samuel has anybody else been able to access? Okay. So I'll share my screen and then we can start. Okay, so I've left some notes in the notebook for you to be able to understand where the data is from, how to connect the DB, the database, and some of the SQL queries that we'll be using for this lab. So if you want to connect it to your Google Drive, you have to mount the Google Drive on Colab. So you can just do that by running this cell. Mine's already mounted. So, and then you can click run this cell as well. So if you upload it, that's when you need to run this. So we'll create a connection by running this cell. Then also you need to import the libraries that we're going to use as well, and then run this, and then we're good to go. Okay, need to resend the link of the Colab. Okay, I hope everyone is following so far, because I want everyone to be a bit settled, then we can get into it properly. I would say you should listen to, watch what I'm doing, but obviously I'll give you, so after each cell that we run, I'll give you like a few minutes, well, not a few, maybe like 1 minute to like run it on your own. Maybe you can copy the query or write the query from what I'm showing you and run it yourself. There is a Word document that has all the queries. So if you need to just copy and paste, you can do that. But I would say just follow what I'm doing and then we'll go from there.
Paula.
Yeah.
Can you redo the mounting, the database setup, so we can do it along?
Okay, sorry. So
Right.
the first cell is for mounting the Google Drive on Colab. So all you need to do is run this cell and it would attach your Google Drive. You'll be able to see here. Okay, it's already here because I've mounted mine. And then the next stage, if you're using Google Drive, well, you need to run this SQLite import code, import SQLite and import pandas, and then run this third cell, this fourth cell, I mean, and then your data will be connected. So I hope everyone is following. Are we all on the same page? Can I just leave a thumbs up if we are? Yeah, not seeing any reaction in the chats. I don't know if that's a good sign. Okay, is there any particular issue with connecting? Dolamo, Uludari, is there any issue? Are you facing any challenges? Okay. Dolamo, if you're having any issues, let me know. You can message me privately or just put it on the group so everyone can see, just in case anyone has the answer.
Dolamo, you can even omit your mic and speak.
Yeah, if you prefer that. I think it's safe to say everyone else is following.
So we are good to go for that.
Yeah, okay. So let's not waste too much time on that. Okay, so this is my location. Like this is the location on my own Google Drive. So the location might be different for you. So when you download the file and
sorry to disturb you. I think Paula Dolamo already dropped 0 code.
Pardon?
Dolamo has dropped the error code in the chat. Maybe we might want
to
help him.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. So I'm saying that it could be your location, like this is the location of the data on my drive. Like I have a folder called lab for data in my drive. So you have to check the location. So what you can do is, I think you should be able to see. Let me see if you can find the path here. I have so many things on my screen. Okay.
Hold on, please. Can I say something?
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Okay, please. If it is for the path, if you have actually mounted your drive on the Google Colab, you just go by the side, by your left tab, you see the drive.
Yeah. Another way, actually. Yeah. So you see my drive, then you have like, So that's another path. But if not, you can just follow for now and we'll just leave that till later. So that's the only thing, that's the other thing you can check, or download it on your system and then re-upload it and then just access it directly this way. So for this database, I've created 4 tables, which is kind of similar to what Tayo is. It was a dirty creation, or would I say clean creation? Let me not call it. So I had to read the CSV file. I'm just going through, I'm not going to go deep into this. I had to read the CSV file, create the tables, assign the data types, and insert the tables row by row. Sorry, the data row by row. So that's what I did to get the final results, which we have here. So we have 4 tables: the customer table, the sales table, the product table, and the returns table. It's very important to understand how these tables are, because that will help you in your querying. I think like if you understand the data on your tables, or the tables that are available, you can easily make the connections when you're writing your SQL queries. So for the customer table, we have the customer key, which is the primary key, the sales table, which has the which has the order number, which is the primary key. I didn't highlight it here, but the order number is the primary key in the sales table. And then we have the product table, which has the primary key as the product key as the primary key. And then we have the returns table, which has the product key in the returns table. That's the primary key. So for each customer, they have many sales transactions. And in each sales transactions, we have one. For this particular instance, we have one product to many sales. So you can buy something multiple times. And then we have one product to many returns. So that is an overview of the structure of the database. So, I mean, I've already said what the primary key of the customer table is, which is the customer key. So I guess there's no need for this question. So does anyone want to say what an alternative primary key can be? Remember, a primary key is something that is going to be unique. So if you're looking at this customer table, can you say what an alternative primary key could possibly be, assuming we didn't have the customer key in the customer table? You can just leave your answers in the chat.
So for that, one more thing before we progress. I want to be sure everyone can see your screen clearly, or you need to maximize it.
Yeah, okay. Is that helpful? Yeah, email address, very good. So email address is a unique key and can be used as a primary key if we didn't have the customer key. But for this particular instance, the primary key is the customer key. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom out a bit. So we're going to run through some SQL basics, and I like to use a select star. Like if you don't know what is in the table, for example, you're just meeting a new table, right? You're starting a new job somewhere, for example, and they've just given you this bunch of tables that, write the SQL query for us to get this and this, and you don't really know what the columns are or what the data looks like, then you can run a select star statement. So running a select star statement, we can see that this table has, and we're using pandas, by the way, to read the SQL. If you were using a normal SQL database management system, you would just write the SQL query. But pandas has a method that we can use to pass the SQL queries to pandas using the connection, and then we can get the results from the query. So that's what I've used here, pd.read SQL. PD is pandas, and we put our SQL query in a string format, and then you pass the connection, which is one of the parameters for this method. And df, sales df.head 5 means bring out the first 5 rows from the query. So that is what we have here. So we're going to be doing a bit of pandas and SQL side by side. I think, was it this? Oh God, I've forgotten what it's called. Lucid charts. I'm just typing lucid charts. That's what I used to get the entity relationship diagram. I had to do it manually myself. So that's what I did. That's what I used. So for this sales table, we have the order date, stock date, order number, product key, customer key. We won't go into much details, but this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to have to swipe to the right. Okay. So this is what the sales table looks like. And then for the customer table, this is what the customer table looks like. We have the customer key, which is the primary key in the customer table. And if you're doing a join, it will be the foreign key in the sales table. So you can see that these keys are very important when we want to join both tables. And we have the first name, last name, email address, income, education level, all of that extra columns in the customer table. Then I'm going to run the product table as well. And let's just see what it looks like. So we have more details about the products. We have the product key, the subcategory of the product, the product name, the product SKU, that's probably like the barcode number or something. Then the model name, the description of the products, and all that extra information. You can run the cells if you want, but some of the queries are not included because I want us to do it side by side. So I haven't included the queries in the Colab notebook. So if you want, you can take some time to run this, try it yourself, run the select star statement. So all you need to do is just, I think the spaces are empty. So all you need to do is just type it in this section and run it and see if it works.
Well, that's just me trying to engage us in the chat, so you can continue.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't notice the name. Okay, and then the returns table. This is what it looks like visually. So it's just very helpful to see what the data looks like, so that when you're running the queries, you can go back to, or you can even, sometimes I used to just copy and paste the column names so that I don't have to type it out again. But this is what it basically looks like. And then we're going to move on to statistical operations. So also there's something you need to note. There's something called an alias. So that is a temporary name given to a table or a column. You're going to see me use it a lot when I'm running queries. So it's a temporary name that is given to a table or a column that can be used and reused within the table. So for this first query, this is the alias count, and I've used this here because if I do not use this, when I run this code, it's going to bring out this as the column name. Oh, sorry. So let's just run that. So it's just a way of making your work more readable. And when you have things like aggregations, especially if you don't want to use the column name, you would rename it so that it looks more presentable or more understandable to whoever your end customer is. So I'm just going to leave that as count because I use that to access this result here. So when I run, so count means to count the number of rows mostly. So it counts on, so we have 6,296 customers in the customer table. So because I got the data from somewhere, I need to be sure that the customer keys are unique. So let's see. So that means there are duplicates in the customer table, because when I use the distinct is to get the unique values of the customers, of the customer key in the customer table. I hope that makes sense. So it's a keyword in SQL that's used to get the unique whatever row you're calling it, whatever column you're calling it on. So if you say distinct annual income, it will bring the unique annual income, for example. So that is just a simple way of doing that. So hope everyone is on the same page so far. And then we're going to do an average as well. So you can do average, minimum, maximum, count. You can do sum as well. So if you want to sum like the annual income, you could do like a sum, which would do a mathematical sum. So running the average, we can see that the average annual income in the customer table is 57,269.12. And then to get the minimum annual income, which is 10,000, you use the min keyword to get that value from the customer table. And then to get the maximum, you run the max keyword against the annual income. I hope the syntax is making sense. I hope it's making sense to everyone.
We might need you to explain a little bit more detail fully. And can you please move a little bit slower?
Okay.
All right.
So there are different statistical operations, like I said, that you can run on SQL, right? We have count, average, minimum, maximum. We have sum as well. So also you need to know that you can run this on, I mean, you can do some of these statistical keywords on operations on strings as well. For example, like the min, you can do a min on a string, and you can do the max on a string, but you can't do like the average on a string, for example, because what's the average of someone's name, really? But you can do like count, average, minimum, maximum on numbers, numerical values on this table. Also, I think it's important to know that for SQLite, they don't really have a variety of data types. For example, they don't have a date data type, but you have to like cast when you write it. And also, so they just have int, text, real, and I think Boolean as well. So you just, but in a normal like SQL database table, you can do more. So SQLite is just meant to be a light version of SQL. So it doesn't do like all the core SQL things, but you can get most of it done. But this is just the easiest way for us to, run SQL queries without getting into too much installation and things like that. I hope everyone is following. Give a thumbs up because we're about to enter another part of SQL queries. If you're following.
If they're not asking questions, maybe I can ask on your behalf.
Yeah.
Can you scroll up a bit?
Okay.
Okay. Why are we picking 0 at this the 50? This results cell where we are working on count. Why are we indexing for 0? Can you explain what we are doing there?
Yeah, because it's a pandas data frame in the real sense, because we're loading it into pandas. So the best way to access this is accessing the first value in the row. So if I take that out, if I had multiple rows, it would be 0, 1, 2. So that's the index. So there would have been like multiple rows, which we'll see as we go on. So to get that particular one, because I just wanted it to look nice instead of looking like a table, since it's just one value. That's why I used this. So count is the column name. That's how you access data in pandas. So that's what I did here.
All right, that's clear. What about with rounding? Why do we need to round? What's the need for it?
So just to make it nice, because I mean, if you do not round it, then it's like multiple numbers after the decimal point. So I just made, okay, not for this. I think it was one I did previously. So if you remove the round, then you just get because it's an average, and by the time you're doing averaging in mathematical sense, like you can have like multiple numbers after the 0. So I just did that to beautify the results. I just make it more readable, so it's not looking like too much jargons. So
all right, just so the SQL syntax is clearer. Can we just try using the average to explain? You can see we are like creating an alias, setting it as AVG, and all. Can we just a little bit explain what's going on there?
So I explained the aliases earlier. So, I mean, the alias is meant to help you make your queries clearer. Obviously, I was a bit lazy by putting it as AVG, but ideally, you can, rename it to whatever you want so that it's clearer for, people. You can use the camel case, or you can use underscores to separate the the words in the alias. So for example, you can do minimum annual income. I feel like, is everyone following? Because I don't know if database is causing people to not be up to date with what I'm saying. So
It's exactly the
I'm
reason I'm trying
lost.
to ask. You see, trying to ask questions that could bring people back on track.
Sorry.
Okay.
So that didn't work.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get the path to the file. Like, first of all, I meant to copy the notebook.
Yes, you have to make a copy of the notebook.
Okay, then how do I get the path to the file on my drive? I can see the file on my drive.
Okay, so you made a copy. You're not using my link. You've made an actual copy on your drive.
Yes, yeah, I've done that.
Okay, so when you select the mount here, when you run this cell,
Yeah.
you should click on this file folder icon here.
Okay.
And then when you click refresh, your drive should show up.
Content will.
So when your drive shows up, you should be able to see whatever the file is. And then you just click on the 3 dots, for example, and copy path, and then you paste that path here.
Okay.
Okay, I hope that helps.
Okay. I'll try it now.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I did not catch the name of who just spoke now.
Dolamo just spoke.
Okay, we have Christopher also running into issues. Can we resolve him too?
What issues? Because if I click on, okay. No such table sales.
Yeah, like I've been able to access, as in, what's the word? The whole drive thing, I've been able to access the file and mount my Google Drive. So, but the cell following that, sales DF, select from sales. So it's giving me a database error, execution failed on SQL select from sales, no such table. So I don't know what to do.
Okay, have you run this? Have you created the connection? You've run the connection like
yes,
this.
I know I've run every cell, but let me just cross check.
Okay.
I know I've run every cell before that.
Okay, try
mounting the drive, import SQLite, import pandas as PD.
Yeah.
I've done all of that. So I don't know why.
Yeah.
Would you like him to share screen so we can resolve him to make sense to carry more people along?
Okay, because I want to even know how many people are having that issue.
Right. So Christopher, I would I'll make you a host so you can share your screen and you can get it resolved.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Yeah. What's up?
I wanted to ask, okay, from the connection, the connection is it the connection pointing to the database?
Yes.
The connection variable pointing to the database.
Yes. It should be. Yeah.
For it appears you'll be the one to make Christopher a host. I'm a host also, so I can do that.
I actually do not know how to do that, but I'm going to try. Okay. Okay, make co-host. Okay, that was quite simple.
Okay.
Okay, do you mind sharing your screen?
Yeah.
I wonder why though. It's not working. Okay.
Yeah, so this is where I'm having challenge. These are all the cells.
Yeah.
I know I've run out of them. So, or do I rerun them again and see?
Yeah, run it again. Let's see.
What does the error say first?
It
That
says
no sort.
Scroll down.
Okay.
Okay, please, can I say something?
Yeah,
So
sure.
Okay, please, scroll up, please. Let me show you something. Yeah, he's actually making an error there. Scroll up. Come to this location and copy the content. You didn't copy the content correct. The content /lab.db. You didn't copy the correct one. Come over and copy it from the drive. Yes,
Okay.
copy it from there. Yeah, copy it from there.
Yeah, that's what I did. I
Oh, you
copied the
uploaded?
part.
Did you upload
No,
it?
no. Look at the drive. Not there. The drive. Come to the drive.
No, I think
Okay,
he
here.
uploaded it.
No,
No,
look at the drive. There's a drive there. There's a drive.
see,
Is it
see,
this
no,
one?
no, see, irrespective, right? You see, you have two block of codes, right? Which
Yeah.
of them you want to use? From what I see, what you want to use is the first one, not the second one,
Yeah.
right? So comment out that second one, run the first line of code, the one that says just lab.db.
Yeah. Because if you run the second
Okay,
one,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I should comment this one.
No,
No,
second one.
Okay,
Second one.
okay, second one. Oh, okay.
even though it should work though, I still, I mean, I think collab works with the content thing. You do it shift slash.
Okay, /. Okay.
You have to highlight the content. You have to highlight the content.
No, it doesn't need to highlight the
But you can
content.
just run that one you're on and just skip the next one.
Okay.
Run that one, skip the next one. Don't run the second one. Scroll up, maybe
Okay.
scroll down,
Okay.
go down, then run that query. And let's
Run
see.
Okay.
That's
Hold on.
actually run that cell before. So I think it's still there. It's still
Hold
still
on.
run.
Sorry, I'm
Oh no, it's fine.
scroll up. Scroll up a bit. Sorry. No, you don't.
Okay.
Don't worry about. Okay, you learned that a bit.
Okay.
The
Okay.
DB, the lab.db file that you copied, right? You're sure it's not corrupted, Ni?
Yeah. Maybe you should just make a copy in your drive directly and just do the drive.
Okay.
So go to the link that I shared. So
I
that
downloaded it.
the tab
Lab.db.
no the tab up lab.db on your browser the lab
Yeah.
yeah. Oh wait, no, I can't see what you're clicking on. No. Lab.db. So your tabs the tabs are open. There's the
Okay, wait.
far
I'm
right.
on full screen here.
Well, don't you think we should make use of his drive since he mounted the drive, and while we're using lab.db, we are not using the
I don't
drive
know if
images.
you made a copy of the data on this drive. So
Okay.
that's what I want to check. I hope this is helping anybody out who is having any issues. So right click. Let's see if we can make a copy that way. On the three dots.
Okay.
Is it the only one that has the issue?
Okay. How do you make a copy now? Wait, put the one with the plus,
The one with the plus.
the option with the plus next to the download up.
Okay.
There's a triangle. So you need to exit whatever this is. Cancel. So the drive,
Okay.
yeah, that one. No, the next, yeah, that one. Let's see if that you can.
Okay.
Okay. Can add it as a shortcut. I'm thinking of a way for you to make a copy on your Maybe I should share the link
Let's
to
go
the
to
folder.
computers.
So let me share a link to the folder instead.
So it appears there are a number of people having this issue
Yeah.
based on the chat. So let's use Christopher as a case study.
Yeah. So I shared the link, Christopher. I need to.
Okay, let me go to the chat.
So you click
So
on
how
that.
do I go to chat? Like,
Oh, sorry, is that my own chat? I thought I was seeing your chat. So you just go to the bottom of your Zoom screen. Next to participants, you should see an option for chats near your sharing screen button. Near your share screen
okay.
button. So there should be chat.
Okay. Sorry, it's up. Mine is up.
Yeah, okay, found it. Yeah. Apologies, everyone. I think I wrote the code like obviously I was the owner of the folder. So that's why it's a bit complicated. Okay, is that the link? It should be a folder.
Yeah, I opened it. So this is where it took me to.
I sent the wrong link. Okay, wrong link, sorry. Sorry, that was the link for the DB itself, not the folder. Sorry, let me just share the link to the actual folder again. Okay, just verifying that before sending it again. So click on the chat again. So scroll to the bottom. So lab DB. So right click on the three dots, or click on the three dots, sorry. No, the three dots on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a copy.
And I should go back to Colab.
Yeah, go back to Colab. So the file name is going to be different for you because it's renamed it.
I'm trying to adjust my window to 6.
Okay. It's fine. So just go back to Colab and refresh your drive. Or click the refresh button, yeah. So click on the drop down for the drive once you refreshed. My drive. Click on the arrow.
How do I paste? Okay.
Just click on the arrow. And you
I've not. Huh?
So scroll down. You need to find the file itself.
Okay, sorry. You know, I copied, but I've not pasted. So is it that
automatically created a copy? Automatically created a copy.
Okay.
Automatically creates a copy in your drive.
Okay.
Yours is going to have a different name because we didn't rename it. So just scroll down. Sorry, we're going to see your personal, okay, don't worry. Copy. Yeah, you just passed it. It was in C.
Okay.
C. Copy of.
Copy of
So click on the 3 dots. The 3 dots. Yeah. Copy path.
yeah. Okay.
Yes. Then paste that path in the line. I think it's the line. It's actually in the line number. Yeah, that one that
Is
you.
it this one?
Second
one?
No, the second one.
Okay.
So just replace that content / yeah, just replace that with what.
Okay.
Okay. So uncomment that and run it. Hopefully it should work. Fingers crossed.
Then you can close this directory part too. You can close this tab too.
Please work.
Okay.
And just
No, yeah, we're fine. You know.
okay, so try running it. Okay.
Hey, finally.
I think downloading it wasn't working out. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So,
okay, it appears Yetunde is fine too. Amilola is fine too. Will make sense.
Works for me. Works for me too.
Okay.
So yeah, we are good to go.
Okay,
Thank you
do I
so
stop
much for
sharing?
that.
Thank you very much for that.
yeah.
Yeah, you can stop sharing. For like you can
Okay.
you can remove his code status and let's move on.
Okay. Let me do that. Oh. It doesn't show that.
Sorry, is it possible to use like normal Jupyter notebook for
Yeah,
this?
but you have to have the database file on your computer.
Okay.
But it seems like it's getting corrupted when you download it, so I'm not really sure I can trust it right now. But ideally, that's what you can do. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, at least we're back on track.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, please, what's now the difference between the line, the one we eventually used and the one before it?
So if you had downloaded, are you still talking?
Yeah, where your cursor is now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had downloaded the file using the link, then ideally or normally you would have to upload it here. So if you had uploaded it here, then to access it, you would just, call the file name. So it will be a file in here, and then you just access it using this. So if you upload any file here and you want to access it in Colab, you would just put the file name here, or if it's in the folder, then you put the folder / the file name. So this is a direct connection, but if you upload it if it's on Google Drive, then you use this mount connection to access the file. So it's just a way to access the file. So if you had it on your computer as well, this is most likely what you use because the file is on your local drive. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so should we start again or should we just move on? Should we start from, maybe we should start from here. I think everyone is okay with the select star statement. Then I can just go.
Maybe we should just start again. So yeah, everyone is happy.
I mean, I think that everyone can run it. And since Fola has kind of explained it and they were listening, let them try to run it. We can give 3 minutes thereabouts.
Okay.
Run it, see how things go. So,
yeah, the queries are in. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, so the queries are in this file, which I linked here here. So if you click on this link, you can see the query. So if you do not want to type it out, you can just copy and paste it. But let's all be here together. So you can stop here and then we can continue from there. So I'm just going to give like 2 minutes.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
going
wanted to ask, like the lab.db file.
yeah.
It seems like, it seems there is the like compilation of tables, I guess.
Yeah. So
Because you're
it's a,
trying to like extract.
yeah, it's a
You go
data,
on. You can go on. I guess I want to.
it's a database with multiple tables.
Okay.
There is a link for how I created them here, if you want to go through it, but I didn't want us to go through it because it was really long and tedious. So there are multiple tables in that lab.db file.
Right.
The lab.db
Alright.
database, and these are the tables.
Okay.
Okay. So hopefully everyone has run queries. Like I explained before, these are statistical operations that you can run on SQL: count, average, min, max, sum. There's also a sum as well. And then you can do the minimum and maximum on strings, but you can't do average of a string. You can do count on strings as well, because you're just counting the number of, rows, but you can't do things like average on a string because you can't do like average of someone's name. So we're going to go to filtering in SQL. So now we know how to like select, okay, sorry, let me add as well. So if you want to select multiple columns in SQL, you just add a comma and the name of the column. So that's how you add multiple columns. So if you want to filter on SQL, we have different ways to, we have different operations for filtering, which is kind of similar to your regular filtering. Regular mathematical operations like greater than, less than, equals to, greater than or equals to, greater than or equal to, not equal to, in, not in, between, and like. So I'm going to go through some of them and we can see an example of, some of the statements. So for this first question, we're going to get the products where the product name starts with universal. So this is a string operation that we're going to perform here. So we want to filter all the products. We want to get all the rows where the product name starts with universal. So when I wrote this query, I could see that. Can you see the first two? It starts with universal. So I wanted to get all the rows that have the product description starting with universal. So to do that, you are going to write. So ideally, also people say it starts with from, like a from keyword, which is where your data is coming from. So you need to know what table that is coming from. So the product name is going to come from the product table. So we're going to select the product table. And then we want to see the product name. Okay, sorry, it's product description, not product name. but we want to see the product name as well. So we can select multiple columns, the product name and the product description. So when you're trying to filter in SQL, the keyword that we use is where, which is kind of like simple, plain English. So you want to select the product name, the product description from products where, in this case, we're using like where, we're going to use where and like. So where is the keyword for filtering? Where product description. And I'm going to show you some really interesting things when searching for keywords for words in SQL. So you're trying to match. So in this case, we're trying to match by seeing the words that start with universal. And to do that, we're going to enclose universal in a string. So I'm going to type the word universal. And because I said that we want product description where the keyword starts with universal, we are going to include a percentage sign after the word universal. So that means, so it's kind of like, give me words that match universal as the starting point, as the first string, and then it can be anything after. So that's what this basically means. So when we run that, oops, sorry. Oh, sorry. Like, I missed that out. Yeah. So, okay, what's going on? Product name, syntax error. I think I should just start this thing from select. I actually like to do select. I tried to do a new method today and yeah, that kind of flopped. Okay, so we're going to select product name and product description from products where product description like universal. Remember, if you're trying to see what it starts with, then the percentage sign will be after the word that you're starting with. Does that make sense? Hope everyone is following. Can you leave a thumbs up if you're following, and if you're not, you can leave a thumbs down. I'll be sad to see that, but yeah. Okay. So we're going to try the opposite now. So a case where the product name ends with black. So I've already gone through the table, so I know that, there's some words and products with names that starts with black, that ends with black. So for example, if you had maybe if you wanted to search for email addresses that ends with people that use Google Mail or Google email, then you would search with statement and say, oh, the product, the email, and then you put the percentage sign in front, which I'm going to demonstrate here. So I'm just going to copy this select statement. So we're going to say where. So in this case, we're using the product name. So hopefully it doesn't confuse anyone, but we're using the product name in this instance. So it's also case insensitive, to be fair, but just try to write it in the right syntax or format so that it's a bit clearer. So if it ends with black, it's going to be the exact opposite of this. So the percentage is going to come to the front here. And then we run that. And then you see the results. So we have this product name, and you can see that it ends with black. So that's an example. So then we're going to try another format, which is when the product description contains lightweight. So in this case, we don't care where the lightweight is, as long as it's in the product description. For example, as you can see this row here, lightweight is in the middle, and we can't get the exact location. So it might be here in the next row, it might be here in the next row. So we are just going to use this format. So to do that, you would put the percentage on both sides of the word. So that would be product description in this case. So where product description is like lightweight, and then put the percentage on both sides. And then if we run it, yeah, we will see that. So I think for here now, for example, the lightweight is somewhere at the end. So yeah, a Colab has this thing where you can, so if you select, so if it's a table, you can select this and it will show you the result as a table. So you can see that they all have lightweight at some point in the column. Okay. Okay, so moving on. So when you're doing filtering as well, there is also something called having. And the difference between where and having is that having is used on aggregated queries. So aggregations are like count, sum, mean, max, those like aggregations that can be done using a group by. So have I done a group by? No. So when you do a count on a column, let me just copy this query out so I can run a brief group by. What's that thing? So if you want to count, for example, right, you can count on its own, or if you want to see a column, so if you want to count, like, for example, the occupation, I think we have occupation. So you want to count how many different occupations by annual income, or you want to do the sum of the annual income by the occupation of the users we have in customer table. And you want to select, especially if you want to select that column, like you want to display that column, then you need to use a group by. If you're doing a count on its own, then you can actually do without, using a group by. But if you need to see the occupation as well, for example, then you would need to do a group by. I'm on the right table. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I need to print out the results. Is everyone following? Is it making any sense so far? So I'm just trying to explain what a group by is so that I do not so that I do not have to, so that I can explain the having clause simply or easily. Is everyone following? Okay. So if, for example, I want to get the, okay, I already had a group by here, actually. So let me just remove this. So I want to show you a simple scenario where we could use the having clause. So let's say we want to check the number of duplicates or rows that are repeated more than once. So maybe we want to know how many customers have ordered more than once in our table. We can do a count by the customer key. I think it's customer key. I hope it's customer key. Yeah, customer key. So yeah. Count. Oops. Just going to type it. So let's do from the sales table, right? Because we want to know how many customers have ordered more than once. Where is that? We're going to do a group by customer key. So I'm going to use an alias here. So that's then we would use the having clause. Having. So it depends on the SQL management system. Some of them can let you just like directly use the alias, and some you actually have to do this count. So let's try this. I think SQL Lite lets you do there. You can use the alias. We use the alias. So let's see. Okay, it doesn't. Oh, sorry, that was me. Yeah. So what this does is after you've done the counts and then the customer key, and then you've grouped it by the customer key, it has run that as like a separate query in the back end. And then you're now kind of selecting or creating a filter that you want to return the customers who have the counts greater than 1. So that means they have ordered more than once from the sales table. So here you can see the counts. So this person has ordered 7 times, this person has ordered 10 times, this person has ordered 3 times. And that is just the difference between the having and the where. So in this case, you can't say where count is more than 1 because that wouldn't work for aggregation. But you can say where anything else, maybe where customer key is equals to this number, or where, customer name is equals to this name. So if we run this, you see that it's not going to work. Let's see if it roots y. Okay, just a syntax error. But you can't use the where clause on an aggregation. So I'm just return that back to the way it was. Okay. So then we're going to go into a little bit of date time functions as well. So I'm just going to, yes, you can only use the having clause with a group by, or because when you do a group by, you're doing an aggregation. So yes, you can only use the having clause then. Okay. So SQLite has its own like dates formatting syntax. For some SQL database management systems, you can just like write call a keyword or a function basically and just be like date or extract month. So you have to always check with the syntax of the system that you're using. So we're going to get the number of orders for each month in 2015. So what this means is that for each month, okay, that's kind of, yeah, for each month in 2015, you want to see how many orders were placed. And by doing that, we need to extract the month because the dates, the format is in a date. Let me try and get to the customer table. Sorry, the sales table. So this is the format we want to get. So we want to get the orders in January 2016, for example. We want to get only this, we want to extract this middle numbers, which is 0, 1. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do here. So we're going to do select. So the syntax for SQLite is string format time, which is kind of similar to what we have in pandas anyway. And then we do this. So I've included a link to the date formats at the bottom of this collab, so you can see more examples. But for this particular query, we're just going to use the month. And then we're going to put the order date as the column that we want to extract the month from. Sales. Then we want to count the number of sales. So I think we have order number. I think there's a column order number. So it can be any column that you want to use, but I'm going to use order number because I know it's a primary key, so that means it's not null and there are not going to be any errors. So count the order number as number of orders. And then we group it by month. So remember, grouping is when you're doing aggregations. Group by month. And then we want to see the number of orders for each month in 2015. So we're going to specify the dates. So where comes after the from? Ignore that I already did group by. So where comes after the from and before the group by? I think I'll try and see if I can add a link to like SQL formats or like structures, like what comes before what. So where order dates is between (2015) 101 and just to get along. So also, if you want to do multi-line strings, you use 3 quotes or 3 single quotes. Just make it easier so you can see without me having to scroll. Where order dates between 2015 01 and 2015 12 31. And then we'll run that and see. Okay. Okay, new group. Oh, sorry. Right, oh, it's truth. Sorry. So you can see that. Yeah, so you can't use the month function in SQLite because they have their own syntax of how you can extract dates. So for this particular one, you have to use string format time in SQLite. But for most database systems, you can use month. So yeah, we have the number of orders grouped by month, and yeah. So we can try other ones actually. So we can do day of the month. Let's try day of the month here. This will probably be longer. So I'm just going to reduce the dates range. Yeah. So you can experiment with other date and time functions as you please. So yeah. I think we should take a quick break or something. I have a quiz as well, but maybe we should do the quiz after the break. So we'll just take like a 5-minute break so you can run what you have so far and catch up with the content. Hope that's okay. Yeah. Someone just raised your hand, but it disappeared. Samuel, you can ask a question. You can unmute your mic and ask a question if you want to.
Please, it's not necessarily a question. My laptop is
Okay.
going on, and the quiz section is going to come up after 5 minutes. And before that 5 minutes is over, the laptop is going to go. I don't know. I don't know how to do it now.
Try to log
It's just a random quiz. It's not graded or anything, but we can. And we can't do it because I haven't gotten to, actually there's some joint questions in that, except if you're feeling brave enough to answer the question. Oops. So, do you want to try it?
Samuel, you can join the call on your phone if your laptop goes down.
Yeah, you can join the call on your phone actually, and you will be able to take the quiz on your phone because it's just going to be a link.
Okay.
Okay. Is it up to 5 minutes yet? I can't wait. Excited. Okay, that's really long. Just going to clear that out a bit. Okay, can get to the end of my screen. Please, if you haven't filled the attendance form, please fill the attendance form and feedback form. Your feedback is very useful to us. We would really appreciate it. And the attendance, just to be sure that you attended the class and we need this data. Thank you. So after I go through the joins, I'll run the quiz so that it wouldn't, the form for the attendance is in the chat, just in case you missed it. Shadrach has just posted it again, and also the one for the feedback. Chinelo, what do you need help with? Okay. Let me just try. Oops. Okay, so Chinelo, so you wrote average, your alias is average and full, and the results the query is AVG. So you need to change that to average. You need to swap, you need to change one of them. Just make sure they're the same. I hope that makes sense. So you can either do AVG or average, depending on what you want, and then that should be fine. Okay, I think we can continue. My Zoom. Okay. So we're going to go into joins. So this is going to be a bit interesting. We're going to do joins using pandas and joins with SQL. Elijah, what issue are you having? You can share screenshots, or you can unmute your mic, whichever one works for you. Okay, because I'm going to start with the join sounds, and if anyone is still having any issues, we can quickly go through that. If not, I will continue. Okay. So basically what a left join does is it returns all the rows from the left table, even if there are no matches in the right table. So I'm just going to create a simple query to do a join and visualize it so you can kind of see what it is, what it looks like. So I'm going to join the sales table and the customer table. And the primary key on the customer table is the customer key, and it will be a foreign key. So we're using the sales table as the left table. So the customer key will be the primary key, in this case, on the sales table, and it would be a foreign key on the customer table. So to do that, I'm going to write the first statement, which is select, which is how you retrieve all the rows in the table. And then I'm going to say select star, because I want to see all the rows from both tables so you can kind of visualize how the join works. So select from actually, we're joining on the customer table. So the customer table is going to be the left table, and the sales table will be the right table, but we're doing the left join. So the customer table is the main table. So being left means like your actual visual left, and right is your visual right, like your actual right hand side. So select from customers, or select from customer. Select star from customer. So when you do a select star and you are joining two tables, it's going to bring all the columns on both tables, unless you specify the columns that you want. So I'm going to say left join sales on. So in this case now, because this two tables have the same name for the keys, we are going to create an alias, or you can just copy it directly, copy the table name directly. So I'm going to say customer table is A, and sales table is B. Also, with aliases, you don't necessarily have to put as, you can just leave it like that and it would automatically assign that alias. But I like to just put as so that it's not confusing or I don't mistaken it to be another column. So you see where the alias comes in play. So we say A, the customer key is equals to B, the customer key. Because if you don't put the alias, it wouldn't know which one you're referring to, which could actually cause an error when you run the query. So I'm going to look for a particular customer. Oops. Because I don't want to return many rows. So I'm looking for a particular customer. So write email. And close that. Okay. So you can see the customer's details on this side, which actually shows you that. So because the customer table is the left table, it gives you all the columns of the customer table first. And then it gives you the columns of the sales table on the right, which is what we have here. So that is just a visual. So if you can kind of visualize it, then it kind of helps to, you know, understand what you're doing. Yeah. So when you want to do that on pandas, you use what is called a merge. And then you do pd.merge, which is pandas.merge, and then you put the right table. So in this case, or the left table. So we're going to put customer here and sales here. So the customer table will be the left table. And then we'll specify left join, and we're joining on the customer key. So let's run that and we can see. So this one, I didn't specify the customer. So it's just returning all the rows or the first 5 rows. So that is how it works in pandas. I hope that makes sense. Is everyone following? Because it might get a bit tricky now. Okay. So okay, so you got only one result because your dates range is just 1 month. So if you want to get more results, you need to add 12. So instead of 2015 0131, it'll be 2015 1231. So that is how you would get multiple results. Yeah, pandas is straightforward, I guess. But my own rule of thumb is, like, if I'm writing SQL queries, I like to try and do as much as I can in SQL and then do whatever SQL cannot do in pandas. So yeah, because if you want to extract data out, most likely you have to write SQL to extract the data in the first place. Except if you have, people hardly have data in like CSV format. You have data that is already stored in a database. For example, you have a company and when your users sign up, you're going to save the data in a database and not a CSV file. And if you store the data in a CSV file, then you want to, write a query to extract the data and just try and do as much manipulation as you can before you, bring it into pandas. So, okay. So I'm going to, I already wrote the query here. So we're going to do a little bit more complicated left join. So I've selected the sum of the order quantity. So I want to get the order quantity of the total quantity sold using the product and the sales table. So I'm joining the two because the category name is not in the sales table, right? It's in the product table, and I need that information for my question, right? What are the top 5 categories sold? So to get that information, I need to join the sales table with the products table, right? So that's what I've done here. So select the sum order quantity as quantity sold, then the category name, which is from the products table. And I've joined both tables on primary key, on the product key, sorry. And then I've grouped by category name because there is I've selected the category name. Remember, if I didn't select the category name, I can do without grouping by. But because I want to see the category name, I need to group by so that I can group it by the category name. And then I'm ordering it by the quantity sold in descending order. DESE is for descending. If you do not put DESE, it is going to return the ascending order. So to specify that it's going to be the descending order, you have to put the descending order. And then I'm limiting it to 5 to give me the top 5 categories sold. So that is why the query is like this. So limit 5 gives you the top 5 because I'm ordering by descending order. If I leave it as ascending, to give me the bottom 5. So let's run that. I mean, we already have 3 categories, which is accessories, bike, and clothing, because our database is quite small. So we already have 3 categories. So yeah, these are the top 3, or to be honest, all we have. But ideally, if we had more categories, then we could, get more. Let me see if there's any other example, any column that we can use, which will probably have more. Okay, so we have subcategory. So if we do subcategory, then we should be able to see the top 5. Because that will be on a final level. So let's go to, yeah. Also, if you can group by, whatever is in your group by doesn't necessarily have to be what's in your select statement. Like I can group it by the subcategory name and group and select the category name, but it wouldn't show the subcategory name. You would just see like multiple rows of accessories and you do not know, what subcategory it belongs to. And also is whatever group by, whatever column name that you're using the group by, that it would actually group by. So even if you select category name here, it's not going to group it by this higher level category name. It's going to group it by this subcategory name because of what I did, the query I wrote. So let's run that. So yeah, we have the top 5. So let me select the subcategory name so we can see what subcategory it belongs to. So yeah, so the top subcategories are tires and tubes, bottles, cages, helmets, mountain bikes. So that's about it for the left join. Hope everyone is following. How are you finding it so far? Is it making sense? And just give a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please ask.
So you're doing more than the Lord's work. So I believe everyone is enjoying it up to now.
Okay. Thanks. So for a right join, SQLite doesn't have a right join, but ideally, if you had a right join, you would just type the right join. I hardly use right joins because, to be honest, if you really want to right join, you can just, put the column, the table that you want on the right-hand side. So for example, if you want your product to be the right table, then you put the product table on the right and then have it as a right join. But if you're using a left join and you want your product table to be, the main table, you put it on the left and then just say product left join sales. Hope I'm not confusing anyone. So let's try this example. So select star from products. All right. Let's do the alias because the keywords are the same as a right join, left join sales.
So I think you spelled products incorrectly.
Thanks. As B on A dot. I'm just going to copy that out because still doing the same. Sorry, I'm such a fan of copy and paste.
Everyone does that.
Hey. Oh, good. Okay, that's A. And then, so you can see that, I mean, the product table is on the left-hand side, but if the point is, if you want your product table to be the main table, you know that when you're doing a left join, it would return all the products, all the rows in the product table, even if the rows don't exist in the sales table. So that's essentially the whole point. So you can see that, I mean, there isn't an example here, but ideally, if there were some products that didn't exist in the sales table, the sales value would just be null. I'm trying to see if I thought I had an example. I think it's on another table that I had an example of what it would look like, because all the products actually exist and vice versa. So we can't really visually see that in this example. But as we're moving on, we'll see more. And then obviously, if you're doing it in pandas, you would just do the same and just specify which one is the right and which one is the left. So I think here we're doing the products, the sales and the products. Okay, let's actually just do the customer and sales table. Okay, so this is a good example, right? So on the sales table, so not all customers have sales, like not all customers have done transactions. And that's why you can see some null values on this side of the table. I don't know if that's making any sense. So some of the customers haven't done transactions. So the right table is the main table, which is the customer table. And that's why you can see that there's no non-value on the right table. But there are some non-values on the left-hand side because not all customers have done transactions. So this is a very good example of what it looks like visually. Okay. So we'll just move on to the next. Yeah.
So I was not concentrating for a minute.
Okay.
So can you scroll up a bit to where you started right join? So yeah, we are doing a right join, but we are using a left join.
Yeah, because SQLite doesn't have a right join.
All right. Just wanted to be clear. Everyone's learning.
Okay. So simply put, the right join would give you all the tables on the right hand side, even if there are no matches on the left, which is kind of what I have shown you here visually, right? So we're doing the right join, and this is the right table, which is the customer table. So we have all the values. There's not going to be any value that is none. But because the left table, some customers haven't done any sales transactions, which is table on the left, which we have joined, but we're using a right join. Remember, the right table is the primary table, is the main table. So that is why we can see that there are some non-values on the right-hand side. This has a value because we're joining on customer key. So there is a value for the customer key. But all the other columns in the sales table don't have any values because these particular customers have not done any transactions. So Elijah, I don't know if that makes sense so far. Yeah, okay. Yay, that's good. Okay, so we're going to do the inner join. So an inner join returns like all rows from both join tables with matching rows based on the join keys. So for example, if we're doing an inner join for this, these customers wouldn't show because they don't have a sales transaction. So they have to have matching values, meaning that you can find the keys in both tables. So for example, this key, if I'm saying, oh, we're checking for this customer ID, and we're trying to do an inner join for the customer table and the sales table. This key must exist as a customer key in the sales table and in the customer table. So just going to go through that quickly. Start from sales with a So for this example, I'm going to use let me just use this, the user table because not all customers have transactions. Okay. I'll just type out. Okay. Let's do limits 5. So these customers exist in the customer table and in the sale table. And you can see the details on the right. Yeah, and you can see the details. There's some duplicates in the customer table, so ignore that. So yeah, can do it. Okay. And then if we're to do the same in pandas, you just specify the how and say the how should be inner, and then we run that. Yep, so it would give the same results as you can see. So yeah, that is it for inner joins. I think inner joins are probably the most straightforward. Doesn't have too much, trouble. So yeah. Okay, just gonna delete this. I think I duplicated that. Okay. So we're going to do an outer join, which is like a full join, meaning return all the rows, even if there's no matching row or not. So the full join is actually the same as an outer join. it can be used interchangeably. It depends on which, yeah, actually. So I've done that here. So I'm just going to delete this. But to do an outer join in pandas, you would specify. So the outer join is the same thing as the full join. And yeah, I've already done. Let me just move this up. Okay. So unfortunately, right, SQLite doesn't have a full join. So even if we run this, is not going to work. But on some other like SQL database management system, it would probably work. Okay, the need for an additional filter after the pandas join. Okay, let me see what you mean. Do you mean on like the on? Yeah, SQLite is a bit unfortunate. It's very disappointing, but I guess because it's not as light, if that's the best word. So yeah, I mean, it cannot really have the full functionalities of a proper database management system. For the outer join example, okay, what did I do? Filters. Okay. So I'll explain this when I run this. Okay, so let's just do the full join first. Sorry, the outer join. So when you do the outer join, it's going to return the columns on both sides. But the thing is, so if there aren't like matching columns, some of the values will be null. For example, if I'm doing like if this is a sales table and a product table, for example, okay, the product table and sales table are probably not the best because all the products exist in the sales table and vice versa. So, but basically what I was trying to show is that if you do a full join, for example, let's say there's a product that nobody has bought, right? So that means it's not going to exist in the sales table. That means the value for this column, the way you're looking at it visually, the values here will be, is that sales? Yeah, the values here will be null because the customer has not done any, the product has not been bought, right? But for the sales table, if you do a full join, there would be a corresponding product because we didn't buy the products from thin air, if that makes any sense. So this is not a very good example to show where some of the where it might be null or where it would be null in the example. So I think we should just skip that. I was trying to show visually how, one of the columns could be null. But let's see, let's try with the no, unfortunately, this particular database that we have, all the products are in the sales table, so none of this is going to work. So
that's not fortunate. It's
well,
supposed to be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, but like it would have been good to see what it looks like.
Did we Did we lose Fola?
Seems so. Right?
Oh, it seems so. I thought it was my network. That's why I didn't say anything earlier.
Oh, okay.
I think we
I was
did.
I was thinking it was only my end.
Sorry.
I know you're here.
Yeah, sorry. I'm back.
So
Sorry
let me
for
see.
the break in transmission.
Unfortunately, I can't make a cost. I don't know what's behind the sort of league. So Kenichi, can you help us?
Okay.
No, I'm not the host. I think it's Tayo that is the host.
Taya most likely left.
No, I got you.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
So make host. Good to go.
Hey, thank you. Okay. So the way a cross join works is if there's a single value, so for each value so we have a table, right? And there's like 4 columns, 4 rows on the first table and 4 rows on the other table. Basically, what a cross join is going to return is 16 rows. So for each row in the first table, it's going to return the matching, is going to match the second, all the 4 rows in the second table. So let's do an example of cross join. I know some pandas fan will probably prefer pandas cross joins. Someone said AI will take over SQL. I'm not sure how, but good luck. Maybe sometime in the future. Probably I won't have to write in SQL queries. And then ChatGPT can just do it. So we're going to cross join the customer table and the sales table. So also for the cross join, you don't necessarily need a key because it's just going to return all the matching rows on both tables. Sorry, it's just going to return all the rows on both tables. So let's run that and see what it would return. Okay, my system is going to crash actually. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, because I limited, that worked. Okay, so you don't need a join in this case, and it just returns all the values and returns so it doesn't match per se because it's just returning. So for example, you can see this product key and this this column, this product key or this order number on the order table is matching all the customer. So for this order number, right, this is one order number. It's going to match, I think we have like 100K customers, or it's 26,000 customers. It's going to match that one column with 26,000 rows. So there's going to be 26,000 instances of this particular order number. I don't know who uses a cross join or whatever they use it for, but I don't know. I don't know what scenario someone will use a cross join. I don't know. I can't think of anyone, but basically that's how it works. So it will just return all the rows and attach it to like every single column of the first row, the first table. Hope that makes sense. I can't really show it because it would be a whole lot of like rows. It will be the number of rows in this table, in the sales table, multiplied by the number of rows in the customer table. So yeah, and this is how you do it in pandas as well. So for this case, I selected just this product and just this customer so that it doesn't, so it's not too much. And I saved that as a new DF called sample DF so I can reuse it and I don't overwrite, overwrite the sales DF that we're using. So that's why I created a new DF as a temporary DF. So we're going to run that and see the results. So it would definitely be more than this number of rows. So, but it's just good to see what it looks like. So we can take a short break now and we would do our quiz in, I think we should just do our quiz now if you're ready. But let me stop sharing my screen first so that I can share the quiz is going to be a very simple quiz, hopefully. So it's just kind of questions on what we've done so far. So I'm going to share the link now and then everyone can join in. If you're having any issues accessing the quiz, do let me know. Okay, Chelsea fans, sorry. I don't watch football, so I can't relate. Let me share my screen. So I'm going to start the quiz in a bit. But let me know if you can access the quiz. It's just a very simple quiz. And I have faith and believe that we're all going to, pass the questions. So I'll just give everyone like 2 minutes or 1 minute, 1 more minute, and then we'll start. Okay, that's 1 more minute. Okay. Should I give 1 more minute because I'm about to click start? Everyone able to? Okay. Okay, some people are still joining. Okay, 1 more minute. Once it is 2:59, I'm going to start. Okay. Less than a minute to go.
I think there's cheats now. I don't know what Kenichi and Tai are doing in the quiz.
Once it's 2:59, I will start. I don't think anybody else is joining. Because where is everybody? Just 22 people we have. Okay, we're starting now. So hopefully you should be able to see the question on your screen, on your own screen, not mine. Okay. Cool. Okay, next question. We have some top chatters. But don't worry if you missed that one. It was quite tricky. So the next one should be better. Yeah, this time is too long.
Do you want to tell us the right answers after each question or after the
Oh,
entire quiz?
isn't it showing the answers?
What did you say? Okay, all right.
Yeah, like after the question ends, it would show the answer. If not, we can go through the answers. Okay, so next question. Okay, so no name, whoever you are.
I'm suspecting no name is Tayo.
Why are you suspecting his time?
It's definitely Tayo.
Mhm.
Hey. Okay, I'm suspecting Tayo as well because what's happening? So does it show the answer when you're done? No.
No, it doesn't.
Or the answer is like medium in the middle.
I have a question. Is there a prize for the winner?
There can be I don't know. Maybe the homework. This one is too simple. And there are people that are cheating, so some people that are not meant to be in the quiz that are in the quiz.
Yeah, Kenneth is asking too cause I think he's been filling in the wrong answers on purpose. So now he wants to know if he should fill in the right answers.
I don't know if, like, I didn't even get to see the questions in the quiz. I don't know if
Okay.
that's only me.
Oh, when you joined, did you join?
I
So
did join. I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah, the answer is join. You're not meant to join. See, you're not meant to be complaining that you can't see the questions because
Where's
you're
the last
actually...
button?
Huh?
I can't see the last button.
It shows at the end of once the question ends. Once the quiz, the question ends.
I'm not even seeing the next questions. It's like you're dropping us off.
You're not seeing this particular question.
Okay, I have seen this now.
Okay, the image isn't showing on my screen.
All right, we are good to go now.
Okay. So, okay, Damilola is coming up top. People are coming up top. So the answer was a left join. Oops. Oh my God, did I just click start? Sorry. Sorry, you need to answer that again. That was a mistake. So second chance.
I like this game. Sorry, I like this quiz.
Very simple, short questions. Just end question.
Wait, is there another question currently on?
So for people that haven't answered, okay, I'm just
not
going
answered any question and I'm not there. Well, it's fine, sure. I just want to be sure.
Yes, sir.
Others are not facing this.
Yeah. Okay, so Damilola Olatunde Kosi coming up top. It's really good.
Can we bounce Tayo?
No, I can't. I don't know what Tayo is, so can't bounce him.
Tayo is no name.
Interesting.
Okay. Hopefully Damilola has come up. Okay. No name needs to miss a question. Even though it says the champion. So the answer is inner join for that one. Next question. Was that the end? Okay. I think that's the end actually. Yep. So Yeah, okay. That doesn't look good. Yeah. Well, hope everyone enjoy that. How do I exit this view? So that's all for the
No name was Kene.
wow. Okay, I don't know how to exit that, so I'm just going to leave it. So now we're going to go into something, we're almost at the end. This is just a bit more complicated. We should be done in like 20 minutes. Sorry for taking your time. So there's something called CTEs in SQL, which is, the full meaning is a common table expression, which allows you to create temporary tables that can be used within a SQL query. So once you cancel that query or erase that query, that's gone. Like, it's not stored somewhere. It's a temporary table, a temporary, I don't want to call it view, because a view is a bit more permanent than a CTE. But it's a temporary table that you can use in your queries. And I'm just going to go through a few examples. So how to create a CTE is use the with statement and then the name of the table. So for this example, I think I should give it a nicer name than A, because I like to use A. So sales, which is the table of, which is the name of the CTE that you're creating, with A as, then you open parentheses, and then this is where you write your query for sales. So for this example, I'm going to select all so we can, select some columns later on. So select star from sales, and I want to see the sales, the rows of the sales table where the product key. Sorry, everyone. I hope you found the quiz amazing. Sorry, I just jumped into the class back. I just don't want to take too much of everyone's time since we're kind of like running late, running behind. Well, I hope you enjoyed the quiz. If you failed the question because maybe something isn't clear, please let us know, or just, you can ask your question while I'm still typing this query. So I'm going to limit it to 5. So what's going to happen is that this temporary table is going to only return 5 rows because I put limits there. I don't necessarily have to do that, but because I want to like show you for this example that, so this is like imagine that we have an actual sales table. No, don't let me call it sales. We have a table that's called sales outputs. So I'm just going to sales outputs. Yeah, because it would clash with the other table. That's 0. So imagine we have like your normal table like this. So it's going to look something like this. And then we have just 5 rows, which I would show you in a bit. And then I'm going to say, okay, sorry, that's within this. Let me come out of this parenthesis. Okay. So where product key is equals to this limit 5. And then I'm now going to say, because this is now a table on its own, this select sales output is a table on its own. Then I'm going to say select, and then I want to pick a couple of rows that I want to see, because I don't want to see all of it, although I put this star here so that all the columns are available. So also one thing you need to know about CTEs is that if you don't put, if I decide to specify a column, right, when I want to query from that temporary table, if that column wasn't listed here, even though it's in the actual sales, it's going to throw an error because I didn't put it here. I'll show you an example soon, but let me just, write this. So select date, order number from sales outputs. So when you run that, it will return the 5 rows from that table. So if For example, I only put order number as the column in this temporary table. When I run this, it's going to throw an error because the order date doesn't exist in this temporary table. So if I want to be able to query this order date, then I have to have included it in this query. So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, so that will work. And then window functions, we'll not get too deep into window functions, but I'm going to cover it a little bit. So window functions allows you to perform calculations across a set of table rows, which are some are related to the current row. So in let me see how best to. So in window functions, right, you can create a subsection of your table, which is called partitioning. So if I say I want to partition by order number, it would select. So if there are like 5 rows of this, if I'm partitioning by order number, and there are 5 rows in the sales table that have this order number, it will put the 5 rows with this order number together visually, like the way you're seeing it visually, right? And then it will now perform whatever aggregation that I'm specifying on that particular partition. So I'm going to try and select that particular product order number so that we can see. So we can visually see how the partition works. That makes any sense. So select star from sales where, although the order number is unique, so it's probably not a great example. But let's see if it's duplicated. I don't think it is. Okay, we have multiple order numbers. Okay, that's good. So if I want to do the minimum, order number, right? So let me order it by, so you can also visually see what I'm about to do. Order by order date. So you can see that this, okay, there are multiple instances, but this date is the first order date for this particular order number. And to do that, to write a window function. So I'm going to show you what it looks like now. So we're going to do select. Sales. Okay, no. Okay, let me just do the minimum order number over. So these are the keywords for creating the partition. Partition by, and I want to partition by order number. From sales. Okay, so I'm going to give this a name as well as an alias, I mean, minimum or first order date. So there's something we actually have to do if we want to return the first, if we want to return the first minimum dates. Okay. So this is where a CTE might actually come into place, because we want to select the first instance of the order number, because if not, it's going to return that query with multiple order numbers, or multiple minimum order numbers. What's the error here? Near over. Oh, sorry. This is my mistake. What's this? From the order number. Order by order dates.
So Fola, check the chat.
Yeah.
Are you saying something?
Okay, sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry, my typo. How do you spell partition again? Just partition.
No, that's still not complete. There's one I missing.
Jesus, English.
Or
Thank you.
Yeah. Still not there.
Yeah. So I was meant to select the order date. Sorry, not the order number. So this would return multiple, yeah. But so that's where the CTE comes in. Okay, so I'm just going to include the CTE because I want to return the minimum dates for this particular order. Okay, I didn't specify the order here. Okay, let me just specify the order because it has returned the minimum for each order. This order number is equals to okay. That's wrong. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is going to return multiple rows because for each instance or for each record of the order number, it's going to return the minimum order dates. But I think for this example, we might have just the same. Maybe I should use the stock dates. That will probably be a better example. Stock dates, and then select order dates. And I'll have to, I need to group by, okay, no, I didn't need to. So is the partition keyword an enhanced group by? Yes, basically, that's what it is. It's basically an enhanced group by, but it's better than a group by in some complicated scenarios. I don't know if I'll be able to go through it because even me, it's very complicated. Sometimes you have to Google and just be sure what you're doing. But like if you want to, for example, for each customer, you want to sum all the transactions that a customer has done, and you want to get the minimum, the sum, and you just want to do more complicated scenarios where you want to group by, or sorry, do an aggregation, then this will probably be better. The most recent example, or the best way I've seen it, is when you do row number. So if you want to get the first time, let's say you don't have a, okay, that's not a good example, but it can be good for something like a ranking or row number, which your group by probably can't get for you. So if you're doing a row number, it would assign a row number to each row in the table, and then you would retrieve the first row of the instance. But let me just use my example, the example that I had, and let's see the example. So in this case, you would just do a sum. It's literally the same thing, and then you just do a sum of the transaction value for this example. But let me just get to this example, which you can use with a CTE and a window function. So what is the top selling product in each region? So for each region, I want to see the top selling product. So that means the product with the highest number of sales and the very first one for each region. So let me just write the query. Maybe it would make more sense. So I'm going to create a temporary table with top as select, and then the sum of the order quantity. So I want to know how many orders. We're running out of time, sorry. That's quantity sold. I want to bring up the product key. Product key. Region. Then I'm going to do a partition to get the first row. So it's going to partition it by region and so it's going to get the sum of the order quantity sold. Then it's going to group it by the region. Then it's going to return the top value. So I'm going to order it by, there's an error. Okay. Thanks. Order by quantity sold. It's just by the sum of the order quantity in descending order. As oops, going towards the left. And then I'm going to do, so I'll explain this in a bit, but let me just it's not added my form. Just leave it as region. Sure. Product key. Region, product key. Okay, so what I've done is to create a temporary table, right, using a, okay, I didn't put that in the brackets. Selecting the order quantity as the quantity sold, selecting the product key and the region, then creating a window function using the row. So there are multiple functions that you can use: row, rank, I think average, minimum, it depends, but there'll be a link. I'll find a way to attach a link later on. And then assigning that to a row number. Oh, sorry. This should be closed in a bracket. So I've created a partition by region, and we've added the order quantity, and it's sorted in descending order by row number, meaning the last row will be the quantity with the highest number, the sum of the highest quantity. No, the sum of the quantity, the total sum of the quantity, and the highest one will be the first. So by doing a select star from top where rank number is equals to 1, I'm saying that select the first row. Okay, I did not. Sorry, it's row number. That's row number. So where row number is equals to 1. So it's going to select the first row. Okay. Near select, top as select. I think I've not closed one bracket somewhere. Yeah, okay.
The bracket over select, that's the one.
This one?
Yes.
No, it's fine. I think this is the this is the temporary table. So it should be here.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully. Okay. No such form. Row number. Oh, sorry, row number. Yeah. So for each region, you don't need to return the row number, but let's just see it. So for each region, we have this particular product key and the quantity sold. So this is the top selling quantity in this region. If I were to remove the row number, it will return just the limits. Okay, no, let's not do limits because you might miss out some other regions. So you can see that for Australia, we have multiple rows. I don't know how many, but for Australia, we have multiple rows. So what we've done is return the row number with the highest, the last row number, because we assigned the row number to the quantity with the highest number, which is 1523, and we return the row number where is equals to 1.
So a question, please.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so why do we have parentheses after row number?
Where?
At the row number in caps lock.
Parentheses. So that's just the function. That's how it works. If you do row number rank, I don't know what the explanation will be, but yeah, it's a function, like a Python function. So it's, assigning a row number to the items in this partition.
All right,
I don't know the explanation for it. Yeah. So does anyone have any questions so far?
Are you saying we're done?
Yeah, we're basically done. I'm just going to go over. Yeah, okay. Let's do some more. There's case statements that we can go over, and then the subqueries, and then we'll be done. But is everyone okay?
It's disflashed, so we will be updating the notebook after the call.
Yes, the lab notebook, yes.
All right,
And then-
can we all appreciate Fola for this more than wonderful session? She has done more than the Lord's work. I mean, she was saying Taya was doing the Lord's work in the morning. But
Yeah.
she has done beyond.
Thank you
Okay,
all
so
for listening.
so Kenichi wants.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said I'll leave the queries for this ones in the lab notebook, and the AI Saturdays GitHub will be updated with all the queries. To be honest, I don't think you can really know everything SQL, but you can know enough to like at least be able to like ask the right questions, or find the data that you need. So
I mean, with this class, we already know more than enough, and all thanks to you.
yeah.
And so Kenichi wants some students to give us a verbal feedback over the call.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Kenichi,
okay.
which is?
Yeah. Hi everyone. So are we still recording the session? Please, can we stop recording the session?
Oh, okay. Just give me a minute. Let me reclaim the host and stop the live stream.
Thank you.
It appears Fola would have to be gracious and hand me back the host privileges now.
Okay,
So,
let me.
yeah,
I don't know how to.
Your Royal Majesty. So